I think this one's working, Andy. I got it working. I mean, it doesn't have a good thumbnail, but
It's fine.
I don't know. I don't know if people.
Is anybody there?
Not yet. Here, let's go into someone joined. Hi, whoever joined.
Hi, sorry, it's not working. Fingers crossed it happens, it works this time. Okay, so here's the real one. This is not the link I posted, but I don't know why this happened to me. So welcome everyone. Hopefully you can see us and hear us now, because before it was just yellow and I don't know why it did that. I just want to try to take this other one down before I start, but I don't know how to do that. So
I can do it. Let's start. Oh, you're doing it.
All right, so it looks like people are here. So we will get started. So let's start in child's pose today. Sorry for that little technical glitch. And so make your way to an easy child's pose here on your mat. Your big toes touching. Your knees spread wide so you can drop the low belly down in between the legs. I'm just taking a brief moment to turn inward. If you haven't already, allow the eyes to close. Bring your attention to your breathing, feeling the air come in and out. Feeling the expansion and contraction of the ribs and the low belly. Gently just crawl your hands over to the right. They may come off the yoga mat. You'll start to feel a long stretch through the left side of the body there. And then gently crawling your way through the center and over to the left. And then coming back into the center. And starting to deepen the breath there. So as you inhale, try to suck in, drink in just a little bit more air. And then exhale, really push all of that air out, maybe even creating some sound. Big deep breath to inflate the ribs and low belly. Exhale, squeezing that air out through the nose, maybe feeling the belly start to lift and engage, the pelvic floor squeezes. As you inhale, come up to tabletop, hands and knees. The right arm will start to reach up to the right. So it's like you got big wings, spreading wide, feeling that twist. Just holding here for an extra breath or two. And then as you exhale, thread it right underneath that left armpit. Bring the right ear down to the mat, hips high, and just settle in for 2 or 3 breaths. Your next inhale, start to reach the right fingers high to the sky. Feel that twist and rotation. And then exhale, return to tabletop, getting ready for the left side. Inhale, the left fingers floating high. Really feeling that expanse in the arms, that twist through the shoulders. And then exhale, thread it through underneath the armpit. Left ear comes down to the open. Hips are high. As you inhale, start to open back up. We'll take that right and left 2 more times here, moving a little bit faster through. So when you take your next inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, thread it through, lowering down. And then right on that next inhale, start to open it back up to the right. Exhale, return to tabletop to the left. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, thread it through, lower down. Inhale, start to open. Exhale, right and left again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, soften down. Inhale to float high. Exhale, grounding down. Last side, inhale, open. Exhale, thread. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, return to that tabletop. As you inhale, tuck the toes, come into plank pose, top of your push-up there. Really feeling those arms now nice and strong. They've been supporting the body there for a little bit, but now maybe even feeling a little bit more support as you push down through all 5 fingers. Belly's lifted up and squeeze, engage. Rounding through that upper back, you're pushing against the floor so strong, maybe even starting to quiver a little. As you exhale, lower down, chaturanga halfway. Flip the toes, open the heart, up dog or cobra. And then exhale, take the hips back to your downward facing dog, but upside down V shape. Just a couple deep breaths here. Inhale, lift up to the tippy toes and look towards your hands. Exhale, maybe bend the knees and jump or walk your way up to the front of your yoga mat. It's a half lift up and out as you inhale. And exhale to soften back down. Inhale to stand all the way up, reach your arms nice and high. And then exhale, take a side bend over to the right. Pass through the center as you breathe in. Exhale, left side over. Inhale, back through the center. Lift your chin for a small back bend. And then exhale, dive forward, reaching for those toes, heart melting down. Half lift, hands to shins to look up and out. Exhale, plant the hands. We'll take that little push-up combo. Lower down, squeeze the elbows tight. Heart lifts as the toes flip. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog for 3 deep breaths. Pushing into the mat. Belly's lifted up, squeezed and engaged. And then the backs of the legs are long as the heels melt down to the mat. One more big deep breath in. And letting it all out. Half lift, or lift up to the tippy toes on your inhale, look to the hands. Exhale, step or float to the front of the mat. There we go, half lift as you inhale. Exhale to soften down. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach the arms high. Exhale, it's a side bend over to the right. Pass through the center as you breathe in. Exhale, sway to the left. Inhale, back to the center. Lift the chin up for a small little back bend before you dive forward, softening the heart towards your thighs. Inhale to look up and out for a little flat back. And then exhale, hands plant, step back, take that push up all the way to downward facing dog. Inhale to open. Exhale to melt the hips back. Just a few breaths to reconnect and recenter. Inhale up to the tippy toes, look to your hands. Exhale, step or float to the front of your yoga mat. Half lift as you inhale, find that length there, and then exhale, squeeze back down. Inhale, stand up, reach your arms high, look past your fingers, and then those side bends, right and left. Exhale. Inhale, lifting. Exhale to sway. Inhale, back to the center. Heart lifts for back bend, and then exhale, dive forward. Lift up, look out as you inhale for length, and then exhale, make your way to downward dog. You can always skip the push up and then the up dog. You can always just take those hips right back. And we'll all meet up there for those grounding breaths, just trying to realign ourselves with that rhythmic breathing we established at the beginning of the class, even as the pace starts to pick up. Inhale up to the tippy toes, look to your hands. Exhale, step or hop, front of the mat. Half lift as you inhale. Exhale, softens you back down. Standing up tall on the breath in, reach the arms high. Sink the hips back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Big toes are touching here. The thigh bone's pulling inward. And then the pelvis is tipped so that belly can lift up and engage. The ribs are knitted in nice and tight. You can leave the arms apart or place the hands together if that's there for you. Lifting that chin up though, trying to look towards the ceiling here. Just a couple breaths to really sink in like that invisible chair. It's really small behind you, like a teeny tiny chair. Good. Inhale, reach those fingers a little bit higher. Exhale, hips drop just a little bit lower. One more big breath in. And then as you exhale, take a little twist here in that chair pose. Right arm swings back. Look to the back of the mat. Inhale, pass to the center. Exhale, opens to the left here. Left arm reaching back. And then inhale, back to the center. Exhale, straighten the legs, folding forward. Half lift as you inhale, look up and out. Exhale, make your way to downward facing dog. From down dog, the right toes will float high to the sky here for a three-legged dog. As you exhale, crunch it in, knee to nose. So rock forward like to a plank pose. Pull that knee into your nose, and then inhale, float the toes back up high. Exhale, step the right foot between your hands. Left heel seals down to the mat. Warrior letter A here, arms floating high. Hips are really trying to square to the front by pulling that right leg back into the hip, really plugging it in there. Belly's lifted up, chin lifting, looking past the hands. Good. One more big deep breath in, and then exhale, open the arms to warrior two. The hips now turning to the side of the mat. Arms like a tug of war game being played, pulling two directions here. Strong energy lengthening through them, eyes looking out over your right fingers. And then the hips dropping just a little bit deeper with more bend in the right knee. Taking the left hand down to the thigh or crossing it behind the back. As you inhale, it's reverse warrior here. Really reaching and stretching that side body as those legs continue to lunge and lower down. As you exhale, bring the hands down. Left hand comes next to the right foot. Inhale, step the right leg back. Vashisthasana, side plank. Building a little bit of heat here. A little bit of strength. And then your exhale, step back to the front. Place both hands down. Drop the back knee. Hips sink all the way back. Half seated splits. Just a little bit of time to catch your breath here. Inhale to come forward. Both hands down. Step back to plank pose. Make your way to downward facing dog. The left toes will come up nice and high to the sky here. Rock forward to plank, knee squeezes in. Inhale the toes high. Exhale, step between the hands. The back heel rotates down. Warrior letter A here. Hips squaring to the front. Left leg is pulling back, plugging into the hip there as that right hip floats forward. Arms reach high. Belly zipped up tight. Ribs in, eyes looking past the hands. Big breath in. Exhale, open to that strong T here. Hips open to the side of the mat, reaching two directions, energy through the fingertips, looking out over your left hand. Softening the hips down into the shape just a little deeper with more bend in the left knee. Your inhale takes you to that, reaching back with the left hand for your reverse warrior. Good. As you take your next exhale, bring the hands down to the yoga mat. Right hand next to the left foot. It's an inhale to step back, side plank. As you exhale this time, start to float that top leg up just a little bit off of this supporting leg. Good. Inhale, step back, the foot front. And then as you exhale, hips sink back into that half-seated split. Again, a little moment of restorative rest here. When you're ready, shift the hips forward, place both hands down, step back to plank pose. Make your way to downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here just to realign, reconnect. And after that third round of breath, beginning again, inhale to tuck to the tippy toes, look to your hands. Step or float, front of the mat. Half lift on the inhale, and then exhale, softens you down, hips sink back into that chair pose, Utkatasana. Arms reaching high. As you exhale, reach the right arm back, swinging for that little chair twist here. Inhale to pass through the center. Exhale takes you to the left. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, straighten the legs, dive forward, melting down. Lift up halfway as you breathe in. Exhale to downward facing dog. That same sequence here, just moving a little bit quicker. Right toes will lift high, and then exhale, crunch it in, knee to nose. Inhale, float the toes. Exhale, step the foot. Back heel comes down to the mat. Warrior one on your inhale. Remembering to really sink the hips low so that right knee bends a lot. Your next exhale opens you up. Warrior two. Look out over the right fingers. Again, the hips sinking in lower, maybe bending a little more in the right knee. Inhale, right arm reaches towards the back of the yoga mat there. Big side body stretch over those lunging legs. And then as you exhale, come down to the yoga mat for side plank Vakshisthasana. Good. Inhale, float those toes nice and high. Exhale, step between the hands. Sink the hips all the way back. Back knee lowers down softly. Long right leg. Hang out for just an extra breath. And then when you're ready, shifting forward. Right leg steps back. It's an exhale to lower down chaturanga. Heart lifts on the breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left toes high to the sky here, and then exhale, crunch it in, knee to nose. Inhale, float the toes. Exhale, step the foot. Back heel is going to seal down for warrior one. Arms floating high, belly zipped up tight. On your next breath out, open up to that warrior two, reaching 2 directions. Good. It's an inhale to reach to the back of the room with that left arm. Reverse warrior. Exhale, coming down to the mat, stepping back for Vakshisthasana, side plank. Right hand down, left leg steps back. Your inhale floats that leg up nice and high. Trying to balance there, 2 points of contact. And then exhale, step the foot back, front of the mat. Hips sink all the way back for that half-seated split. Inhale to rock forward. Step the foot back as you exhale, chaturanga. This time, we'll go through one more time. You can move as fast or as slow as you want at home. John's going to have to follow me, unfortunately. Right toes will inhale high to the sky. Good. Exhale, crunch it in. Inhale, toes float. Exhale, step. Inhale up to that warrior one. Exhale to warrior two. Inhale, reaching back, reverse warrior. Exhale, hands come down, step right into that side plank, big, strong side plank. Toes float high on the inhale. Exhale, step, drop the knee, hips go back. Hang out there maybe a little longer because it feels so juicy and good. And then it's an inhale to come forward, step back, and exhale, chaturanga, lower down. Last side here. Left toes high on the inhale. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, float the toes. Exhale, step, seal the back heel down. Come up, warrior one on your breath in. Exhale, open the arms. Inhale, reach behind you. Exhale, coming to side plank, Vashisthasana. Floating the toes on the breath in. Exhale, step, lower the knees, sink the hips back. So an inhale to shift forward, both hands planted strong, stepping back. Make your way to downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. Inhale up to your tippy toes, look into the hands to step or float to the front of the mat. Half lift on the inhale. Exhale, melt the heart down, sink the hips into your chair pose, Utkatasana, big toes touch, thigh bones pulled in, arms floating high. 5 deep breaths here. At each inhale, try to imagine those fingers like balloons floating a little higher. And then each exhale pulls in opposition as the hips lower down towards the mat. It's 1 breath, 1 more big, no, not 1 more, 4 more, ha ha ha. Good, 3 breaths, in through the nose. And out. One more big breath in. Exhale, straighten the legs, bring the arms down by your side, Samasthiti. You're gonna heel toe the feet about hip distance apart here. Inhale, lift the chest up, nice and tall. And then as you exhale, start to fold forward. Take your peace sign fingers, try to wrap them around your big toes. So they go in between your toes and wrap around, trying to catch on nice and tight. As you inhale, lift up halfway, find that leg, straighten the arms, and then exhale, pulling in. Elbows can go out to the side. Eyes trying to look between the legs or behind you. Just spending a couple breaths here to feel the length of the backs of your legs. The crown of the head is lengthening down towards the mat as the hips start to shift higher towards the sky. And that might rock some of your weight forward into the balls of the feet, so off of the heels towards the toes. Inhale, lift up halfway. You can change the grip here or stay wrapped around the toes. You can try to slide the hands underneath the feet so that the fingers point towards the heels and that the balls of the feet are stepping right into the palms of your hands. As you inhale, start to lift up for that leg there, and then exhale, pulling into the shape here. Same thing before, but maybe just feeling it a little bit deeper. Also trying to shift the weight forward so that you really feel like you're kind of pressing into the hands with your feet. Again, the crown of the head softens down to the mat. The back of the neck is long, so you might want to maybe shake your head no or yes just to make sure you're not gripping there. 1 more big inhale. And breathe out. Half lift as you look up. Exhale, release the hands to your hips. Inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, place the feet together. Good, big deep breath in, reach the arms up and out. Exhale, dive forward, heart to thighs. Half lift as you inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, make your way to downward facing dog. Good, our third and final flow here will be the longest of our class today. From our downward facing dog, lift the right toes high to the sky. And then exhale, just step it right through to a crescent lunge here. So it's like warrior one, but the back heel stays lifted. Might be a little more challenging there. Arms float high to the sky, the hips will drop low, belly's engaged. Good, so really pulling in two directions here, fingers lifting as the hips sink down. As you exhale, bow forward for thunderbolt. The arms will come down by your side. The legs stay the same, but we're just shifting the weight just a little bit forward. The backs of the shoulders are kissing together behind you, so the front of the collarbones really smiles open wide. The eyes look about a foot in front of the edge of your mat. So it's one big, long line of energy. Whole body engagement here. As you inhale, start to lift the arms up again, but this time starting to open up into the back. So it feels a little bit more like a back bending shape in that crescent. So it's like a sliver of the moon, but the back knee is lifted. Awesome. As you exhale, left elbow to right knee for prayer twist. So really trying to hook yourself on there so you got a really big, deep rotation. Feel the pelvis starting that rotation, and then it moves up through the back, through the ribs. And then the last little kiss on top is the chin starting to lift so the eyes look past your elbow or up towards the sky. As you press down through the right hand, can you try to line up the center of your chest with the connection of the hand so that the prayer is right there in the middle of the chest? Awesome. From here, start to straighten the leg, unhook the elbow, the back heel seals down. Right arm reaches up and back for sky archer pose. You catch that wrist, and it's like you're shooting messages from your bow and arrow here to all of your friends in quarantine. Feeling this big stretch through the side body, the legs are still engaged. Left toes point to the side of the mat, and the right toes point towards the front of the mat. As you exhale, start to release the arms. Really think about reaching out and over as you come down into Trikonasana triangle pose. You can wrap the big toe with the peace sign fingers again. Place the hand on the ankle or the shin. Don't place it on the knee, but if you need to, you can use the thigh if you can't bend over all the way to the side. Really feel the stretch though in the side body, pressing that lower hip, the right hip forward, so that this top hip starts to flow backwards, deepening the sensations all through the side body. Two more breaths here. Inhale, come up to a 5-pointed star. Turn the feet parallel so that heels and toes are in line. And then as you exhale, just take a big, wide-legged forward fold. Hands down to the yoga mat. You can walk the hands back towards the feet so that your fingertips are in line with your toe tips. And then once you're in a comfortable place, take an inhale to lift up halfway. Find that length there. And then that exhale to soften you down into the stretch. The eyes are trying to look behind you, so the back of the neck is long. The crown of the head is reaching towards the floor. Just about 3 more breaths here. From here, we'll crawl to the back of our mat for a dragonfly twist. So the right hand comes next to the left foot. The left arm starts to swim up, float high to the sky. And then you've got big dragonfly wings here. So really try to push into the right hand, but also have some support and stability in the left foot. If that left knee starts to bow out to the side, really try to pull it back in so that the twist is compact. One more big breath in. Exhale, look down to the mat. Left fingers will come right in front of the left toes here for half moon pose. So it's a balance here on one leg, rooting down into the ground as you kick energy through that top leg behind you. And then the arms still wide, just like that dragonfly twist, but the opposite direction. So that big dynamic shift here into the balance. Belly's lifted and engaged. And then once you feel like you've got stability and support, can you try to shift the eyes, maybe to the side of the room or even up towards that top hand? One more big breath in, feel energy expanding all directions. Exhale, right hand comes down, toes float higher, standing splits. Standing splits. So you can rest both hands down, or you can try to grab and bind behind the calf. And then trying to just feel the energy lengthening through that top leg as the length starts to open up through that supporting leg. And then we'll come into a seated spinal twist. So this top leg will bend. It's going to come to the outside of the supporting leg. So right knee on the outside of the standing leg. I'll turn sideways so you can see. Take your left hand behind you. The right fingertips will start to reach up nice and high. Feel that rotation from the hips first. And then try to squeeze in, hook that elbow so that you can really rotate and wring out the spine. You may start to feel some energy swirling about as you deepen into this twist. And then I like to think of it like a spiral staircase. So really think of the spine long on the breath in. And then as you exhale, you can deepen that rotation. Exhale to look to the back of the mat. Inhale, lengthen the left leg out long. Pull the right sole of the foot into the inner thigh. So it's like tree pose, but seated. For Janu Shirsasana, the arms will lift high, big long spine as you inhale. And then exhale like half of a rainbow. Bow forward, reaching for the pot of gold. That's in your foot. I don't know, there's not really gold in your foot, sorry. Good, and once you're there, just start to pull in about 5 or 6 breaths here to really feel the length of that left leg there. Inhale, lift up halfway to look out for some length. Exhale, release the leg. Your next breath in will come into Navasana, boat pose. So lift both toes up off the ground here, balancing on your sits bones. You can catch on if you need to at first. I call that cheater's pose. So once you come to cheater's pose and find that balance, just gently start to let go with one arm, maybe both arms. And then we'll spend 5 deep breaths here. In through the nose. And out. Maybe using the breath as a distraction from the intense sensations that start to build. Engaging the belly here. 2 more deep breaths. Big breath in. Exhale, lay all the way down on the back, squeezing the knees into the chest. I'm just going to take a little counter pose here. You can rock side to side and then place the feet flat on the floor, knees pointed up. And we'll take a bridge pose here. So inhale the hips, lift them up off the ground for bridge pose, placing the hands down. Just one bridge pose here. Pushing strong into the feet there so that those hips can really start to levitate up off the mat. Maybe rolling the shoulders under and interlacing the fingers to get more opening in the shoulders. One more big breath in. And then exhale, gently come back down to the mat. Big hug of the knees. Now rocking forward and back along the length of the spine until you come up to seated. Place the hands down. You can swing the legs around or over the shins, the plank pose, lower down, and make your way to downward facing dog. The left side, easy peasy, right? Left toes high to the sky here as you inhale. Exhale, step the foot right between those hands, coming into that crescent lunge. Crescent lunge, arms lifting high. So really here, feeling the opposition, the hips dropping low as the pull of the inhale lifts and floats the fingers. Awesome. Exhale, bow forward for thunderbolt. Arms come down by the sides, chest leans forward. Maybe feeling a little bit more weight in that front foot. And then the shoulder blades kiss together behind you like you've got wings that shine those collarbones open. Awesome. Your next inhale, bring those arms back up by the ears and then start to open that heart just a little bit more, like a little bit of a back bend here, or a sliver of the moon shape with the body. Big inhale, opening. And then as you exhale, prayer twist. It's the right elbow hooking onto the left knee there. So getting that deep twisting rotation, you're on these lunging legs. The back heel starts to rotate down to the mat, straightening the front leg, sky archer pose. Left arm comes up, reaches towards the back of the room. Catch that wrist. Again, like a bow and arrow, shooting messages to all of the people we can't hug, we can't shake their hands, we can send them sky archer memos. And then as you exhale, tip it over, out and over, down to triangle pose. Fingers reach towards the big toe, the ankle, the shin, maybe even the thigh, just not on the knee joint. Good. Feel those hips really trying to square off so the bottom hip pushes forward, that top hip floats back. Big energy reaching through the arms. It's an inhale up to that 5-pointed star. And then an exhale, toes turn in, folding forward. Two more breaths here. Inhale is a half lift to look up. Exhale, crawl your hands to the front of the mat, dragonfly twist. It's the left hand right next to the right foot. And then the right arm reaches up so that the fingers can float high. And try to find equal weight in the supporting hand and the supporting foot at the front. And then feel the rotation from those hips that moves through the ribs, through the torso, all the way up to the shoulders. And then again, the cherry on top is the chin lifting to look towards that top hand. One more big breath in. Then breathe out, look down towards the mat. your fingers slide in front of the right toes, right fingers in front of the right toes, opening up half moon pose. Back leg is taking its energy towards the back of the room, the supporting standing leg like a tree trunk rooting down into the mat. And then the fingers are gently placed on the floor for some balance and stability. If you look at the floor, it helps you build a strong foundation, but then once you find a smooth balancing point, try to shift the chin to look to the side or maybe even the ceiling. One more big breath in, energy shooting out all directions. And then exhale, that top arm comes down, standing splits. So the hips now shift towards the mat, that top leg lengthening up, maybe even shifting the grip to the calves, or you can place those hands down on the mat. Again, the belly is engaged here, squeezed and lifted up and in. And then that top leg starts to bend as you exhale, coming into your seated spinal twist. The left knee comes to the outside of the right foot. Sitting up tall, right hand reaches behind you, the left fingers float high. And then as you exhale, start to twist from the hips so that you can hook that elbow. And then inhale, sit the spine up nice and tall, and exhale, twisting deeper into the rotation. And again, spending some time here, really trying to open up those energetic channels, wringing out the spine like a wet rag. Two more breaths. As you exhale, look back to the front of the mat. Uncross the legs. The right leg will be long this time. Left sole of the foot plants to the inner thigh like a tree pose, but seated. Reach the arms up nice and high so there's length in the spine and the body, and then try to fold forward like the arc of a rainbow, reaching for the foot. And about 5 or 6 breaths here, really just melting into the shape. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, release. Inhale, coming up to that boat pose. Again, if you have to start in cheater's pose, that's allowed, but you can't stay there. So you can find yourself balancing there on the sits bones. And then once those arms are released, you're really reaching energy in those hands towards the heels, and maybe even straightening the legs there to balance there on the sits bones for 5 deep breaths. Good. One more big inhale, find that length. And then exhale, lower all the way down to the back. Squeeze the knees in. Maybe make some circles with those knees or rock side to side. And then that bridge pose here, place the feet flat on the floor. Then on the inhale, the hips start to float high. Feeling that opening in the front side of the body through the hips and the torso. Maybe even opening in the heart there. One more big breath in to lift a little higher. And then as you exhale, soften back down to the mat. Rocking forward and back until you come up to a seated position. And instead of going to the vinyasa here, we'll just bring the soles of the feet together, the knees apart. And then start to soften the heart forward. Baddha Konasana here. It's a little butterfly shape. And squeeze the elbows in so that they come to the inner thighs to help them separate and open. Soften down. And then feel the heart melting forward. Maybe even allowing the eyes to close. And as you sink in here, try to let the sensations and the thoughts come and go. I always like to imagine them as clouds in the sky. Sometimes they're big and full. Sometimes they're light. But at some point, that cloud will pass and be gone. Just about 5 more deep breaths. As you inhale, gently start to crawl yourself up and out of this shape. Gently rolling down onto your back, hugging the knees into the chest. Place both feet flat down onto the floor. Cross the right ankle over the left knee here, like you're sitting down at a dinner table. And then let that right knee start to fold out and away from the body there. Then you can reach the arms to grab the left knee. So you can catch underneath the knee, behind the thigh, or you can wrap all the way around in front of the shin. And then the goal here is just to feel that knee coming inward as the other knee starts to fall outward. And it should pull a bunch of sensation into the right hip, a big release and opening there. Try to let the head relax on the floor. And then really try to surrender here in this shape. Let go of any gripping or holding on that you may be doing. And breathe into those clouds that start to pass by. Just another few moments here. Gently releasing the legs, uncrossing them and making their way to the other side. Finding that stability in the legs before you pull that knee forward, reaching the arms around, and gently feeling that opening in the left hip. And then gently releasing the legs. About a minute for anything else your body may need. A side bend or twist, happy baby or a bridge pose, shoulder stand. And then straightening the legs out long. I'll wake you when it's time to go. So really try to use this last few minute and a half to let the body restore, calm the central nervous system down. Maybe even use it as a simple act of gratitude for yourself. Shavasana. Take rest. Taking a big deep breath in and letting it go. Using that deeper breath here to wake your body back up. Maybe even wiggling the fingers and toes. And then carefully making your way to a seated meditation. With the eyes still closed. Sitting up nice and tall with a straight spine. Big breath in to bring the hands to heart center. Exhale, bow forward to seal in all of your effort and your practice today. Inhale to sit back up. Exhale, allow the eyes to open. Namaste. Thanks, yogis. John will be live tomorrow. He also just released a meditation video, so if you want to check that out, it's on our channel. We're going to have some more stuff coming out, including some stuff for kids. We've been getting lots of requests, so if you have requests, feel free to reach out to us with things you'd like to see. The best way to stay up to date is subscribe to the channel, because you'll get notifications on your YouTube that we posted something. And there's lots of fun things happening and coming. So thank you guys for being here. And
I'll see you tomorrow.
yeah, maybe we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Yay, bye.